Now, a year ago, a GP from Colchester ended up in hospital on a ventilator after contracting the coronavirus. Dr. Michael Hare spent almost 2 months in intensive care. When he left hospital in May, he spoke to our health correspondent Catherine Burns about the impact COVID had had on his life. Now he has invited her back to talk about how the virus has changed him, in some cases for the better.
You give yourself goals, and my goal was to get home. Was just to get home.
We met Dr. Mike Hare last May. He'd achieved his goal, but frail and exhausted, his recovery was just beginning. Now the weather's colder, but the smile is steady.
It's so lovely to see you both looking so well. You look like a different person than you did, 10 months ago when we met. How are you feeling?
Different. I think we were fairly fatalistic when we saw you last. And now we know that we can get over severe illness. This COVID can be beaten.
Before COVID, Mike's nickname was Mr. Fit. He ran marathons, loved skiing and sailing. This time last year, though, he was put on a ventilator. He was in intensive care for almost 2 months.
I remember nothing, absolutely nothing, until they woke me up over 7 weeks later saying that I'd been on Colchester ITU.
What were your physical milestones?
I was particularly worried that I wouldn't be able to speak or sing, which is important to me. I wanted to stand as soon as possible. And then as soon as I stood, 5 minutes later, I wanted to walk and have a shower. Having a shower was fantastic. Oh, I was looked after there.
Oh, yes, I wish I was a cabin boy.
But for someone who was worried about speaking again, see if you can spot him back doing one of his favourite hobbies, singing in a sea shanty group.
I say, Sam's gone away aboard a man of war.
I've just had to be patient. There's pressure on us to get better quicker and quicker and quicker. If it's not the job, it's just everything going on around us. But in truth, nature is in charge, and it takes a while to improve our health.
Did you always believe that you were going to get well?
I didn't let myself think it. Every day was taken as a different day.
Honestly, Mike's mental attitude was unbelievable.
Really, though, his progress has been speedy. It takes longer for many patients.
Morning!
After COVID, Mike thought that he might retire from his job as a GP, but he changed his mind.
I tried to retire in my current job. I thought I'd retired in my current job, but then realised I'd made a recovery just before September and thought that I wasn't ready to retire. I want to retire on my terms.
How do you compare physically now to the Mike who was Mr. Fit?
I think I'm probably about 70%, but I'm not trying to be that same person. I think it's made up from mentally and emotionally. I'm probably 110, 120%.
And the recovery programme was just what I thought it would be, but half the time people were saying it'll take him 6 months, and it took about 3.
Certainly after I woke up, I had messages from about 1,000 people. And it was almost an experience whereby perhaps you attended your own funeral. I think I'm lucky. I've been looked after well, and I'm supported by good genetics and good friends and good family.
Dr. Michael Hare talking to our health correspondent Catherine Burns.